Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the market wrap-up for the 30th of August, 2023. Again, excited for this weekend where I'll be able to look at monthly charts along with weekly charts. That's always a really long one. Trying to keep these ones short, especially considering we have a little bit of a remnants of a hurricane going on outside. So trying to get this done before the power goes out, which is okay because even though there was some big moves in the market, not a whole lot going on. As always, if you want to get this emailed to you, and make sure you have all the screenshots for all the charts I'm going to go over and some that I'm not going to go over. Go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, check that out for free. Just sign up to a Substack. I email it directly to you. I appreciate all the likes and the comments and all that stuff. That's fantastic. The algorithm loves that. And if you're interested in how I find all of these ideas and chart them out and everything, go to TradeIdeas.com, use StatsEdge on checkout, save yourself 15%, and let's get into it. So Bitcoin's going to be easy. The only currency that I think I'm really interested in right now, I went through my whole currency list here, and this was the only one that stood out. But inside day, like we talked about, this next move is really, really important. I talked about this yesterday. Had this big pop, and that was crazy. But now we need to see what happens next. If we just reverse this entirely, holy look out. I think things are going to be really, really bad. But if we can hold here for a period of time and start to move higher, probably a good thing. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. Not so much this move, but what is the next move there. So now we're going to go into, I'm using here now the new Trade Ideas web version. So if you haven't checked out if you checked out Trade Ideas before and you haven't checked it out in a while, we have this new web version that works on Mac and PC and Windows, or on, Windows, obviously. Anything with a web browser, smart fridge if you want. We have access to that as well. So nice little kind of push down here in the market for a long period of time. And I kind of talked about, make sure this is open, my presenter stuff is open here. I was talking about this zone right here and that we had to kind of break back through that to be interested. Broke it yesterday, followed through today. Now, if on any kind of pullback, if we hold this area, then I think it's game on for new highs. You know, I know a lot of people have been talking about a potential head and shoulders here. But really, I think that's really, really premature. Again, a head and shoulders doesn't happen until we break down under the neckline. So to me, this just looks like an uptrend. And until I get some sort of evidence that this is crashing, that's kind of exactly what I'm going to think. Nothing really too much else to talk about because the rest of the market just looks like this, which to me is also bullish because it just means that the whole market is moving higher, right? One thing I did want to point out is uranium. Nice breakout today. We own a bunch of uranium stocks. I own a bunch of uranium stocks. I've been talking about it here for a while. Nice look in uranium. So, bought a couple things today from last New York Times. I picked up some from, we talked about this on yesterday. Basically, I was looking forward to break out of this base. Nice solid breakout today. Got some of that as well. Some of those names, I'm just going to go in here because again, this is what the watch list looks like that I send over. So I just want to make sure that I go over them because I already forgetting. Oh, Match.com. I also bought Match.com today, MTCH. And for the same kind of thing, this one, I really like the look of this one from a long-term basis. We have a nice breakout right here. But if I go over to the weekly chart and I zoom out of that weekly chart, you can see it looks like, now, if you're a stage analysis guy, this is something they teach us in the CMT. But basically, we have this stage 1 uptrend, stage 2 distribution, stage 3 decline, and then stage 4 accumulation, right? And it kind of looks like that might be occurring here on a longer term point of view, where maybe we're going to get a little bit of an up move in Match.com. But who knows? Just a nice trade that I took a shot on today. Now, what did I add today? Oh, PetQ and one else, wasn't it? Or was it just PetQ? I think it was just PetQ. Again, part of the problem I have, and I'll talk about this more in a second, is that when the market is in full-on bull mode like this, you'll notice that my watch list shrinks. So the reason for PetQ, if you draw out the anchored VWAP from before the gap, looks something like this. So nice little pullback into that anchored VWAP. I'm looking to see if this can reclaim 20 bucks. That's where I'm interested in that one. Wrong if we break this level right here. So the reason that you notice the watch list, anyone following this, again, if you get the email newsletter, not only do you get all of the stocks that are on my watch list via a screenshot, but you also get where you can just copy and paste it into trade ideas, and you have my full watch list there. The reason that you notice for people who've been following it is that when the market is selling off or getting choppy, the watch list expands. And that's because what I'm doing is I'm scanning every night for stocks that look really good. And then one of two things will happen. Either they'll trigger and I'll add them and I'll buy them, and then they're off the watch list and in my portfolio, or they just continue to sell, or they break out of whatever base I'm looking at or whatever, and then I remove them from the list anyway. What happens when the market is moving up like this is, the way I look at it, even if we look at PETQ here, the reservation I have to this is that the market, again, has been up pretty significant over the last few days, and this has been down. So we have some relative weakness in this name, and that's the same with everything. So if I'm looking for stuff, which generally I'm looking for things that are really strong, pulling back to important levels, or really strong in basing, if the market's rocketing, and I'm scanning for stuff that hasn't moved yet, then I'm kind of de facto scanning for relative weakness, and I don't want that. So what happens is, as the market rallies, you've noticed that I've kind of said the last few days, I bought a bunch of stuff today. I've bought a bunch of stuff today, because my goal is that if we are going to get into a new leg of an uptrend, is to fill my portfolio with stocks that I like and try to ride those kind of as high as I can. But for me, this becomes the time where it's my job to almost do less, right? To just hold on to the stuff I have, hopefully make money from those things, and do a little bit less, and then wait for the market to, pull back, or to rest, or to do something like that. And then again, look for the next move. So that's why, it's not that I'm getting lazy that the watch list is low. It's just that, this move has occurred, and I'm not going to be chasing stocks up here too much. I'll pick a shot if I see something like I really like PETQ, but I spend more time scanning in times like this because it takes me more time to find anything that's interesting. So I hope that helps. Again, you'll notice the same thing. If we start to pull back or we start to base, my watch list will expand. And then if we start to rally, my watch list contracts. And it's kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of like the inverse of the portfolio. If I have a wide watch list, probably means I'm not holding very much, and I'm looking for a lot of things to add if the market cooperates. And if the market, if I have a really short watch list, probably means I own a lot of stuff, right? So I don't want to really add to that, especially with the market up a couple days in a row. So that was an impromptu rant, but I hope you liked it. And if you did, like it, share it around, do all that kind of fun stuff. I'll talk to you guys soon.